What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the next part 11 of the Rat Rod Racing Mower build. So, this video, final touches, we're going to be adding headlights. I'm going to be talking about the steering, because I did fix the steering again. This is probably the fourth time I've done it. And we're going to be putting the tachometer on and just doing other fine little details. So, yeah. Alright, so first starting off with the steering, I had to 100% re-JB weld this entire thing because I put a brand new bushing in here that JB welded previously, and yeah, that just didn't really stick well. It's probably because I didn't clean it good, but yeah, that's all oiled out, which is why I was doing like that. This is really kind of a crappy design of lawnmower steering. I know the lawnmower steering sucks anyway, but this is just the bottom line worst design. I completely rebuilt it. Put Loctite on the screw going in there. JB welded this all the way around, stacked an extra washer to push this gear closer to this gear so it'll be less steering play and more teeth contact. If you saw the last video, I did hook up these brakes right here. So this now is your brake and this is your auxiliary brake, and you can rig it up, go it all the way forward, and that's your parking brake pretty much. It's the original transaxle brake. There you can see it, that's the main brake. And that in there is the transaxle brake. And first thing we're gonna do is put on our tachometer.
Of course the steering wheel's in the way, so there's no way I'm gonna be able to drill my hole.
Out with the old and with the new. So boom, as you can see, that goes in there lovely. And this cable can run right through here and just run it right there to the spark plug wire. Bam! Just like that, bam.
And I have the wire coming right from there, around that hole, somewhere back there, going round and round and round and round and round to this spot right here. That goes down to that hole, put a piece of tape over that, run down there, up there, to the wire, spark plug wire.
And I gave myself a pretty decent amount of slack, so if I ever needed to pull the plug, of course this thing's gonna be seized on here on camera. Boom, there you go, you got access to the plug. So now let's take the little battery plastic thing off and crank it up and see it works. So I was letting the JB weld cure for, I don't know, 2-3 days, something like that. Yeah, it still moves a little bit on there, but the teeth contact's a lot tighter. I would like to put a rack and pinion in here, but in order to do that, you know, this is a vertical shaft engine. It's not a horizontal shaft engine. If it was horizontal shaft, there'd be no drivetrain underneath it, and I could just run the U-joint, drive shaft, rack and pinion, everything under there. But since it's a vertical shaft engine, I can't really do that because you got belts and torque converters and pulleys and other stuff in the way. Man, mosquitoes, I swear. So yeah, that's why I can't really do that. It's about as tight as I'm gonna get it anyway. So I think why this tachometer is so massively delayed is because the wire is just way too long and it's wrapped around that. So I'm gonna unwrap it, stretch it, shorten it, retighten it, and see if it's more responsive. So bam, I just ran the wire right over the nut right there, made it come through some more wiring loom, and I also put it back in the original wiring loom. That goes down to that, it goes up to right here, right here. So just having medium weight rollers, the engagement RPM in my opinion is not high enough. So I also got some Comet red springs to put on it. There's the part number right there. And that's gonna raise the engagement RPM up to 2600. So now I'm gonna crank it up, see how more responsive or better the tachometer is. And for some giggles, we're gonna see if the torque converter actually engages at 2600 RPMs, because medium rollers, red springs, that equals to 2600 RPM for the engagement. I'm back now. As you can saw, that engine, it really revs up high when it starts to engage. It's a little high for me, but I'm tired of taking that stupid thing off and servicing it, so it's just gonna stay like that for now. But I did a top speed run. I hit 44 miles an hour going down a hill that's up there. And yes, it's really fast and really sketchy. Every time I push in the clutch to shift gears, I feel like I'm gonna blow the whole transmission up. But it's holding up pretty good. This tachometer did do pretty good, even though I shortened the wire. It did a little bit better, but it's not fully accurate. But you know, it still gives you an idea what RPM you're turning. And this thing goes 44 miles an hour with the engine turning at 4,000 RPMs roughly to the floor, and it was just had it wide open the entire time, coming slightly up a hill. The engine just doesn't have the torque and the power to keep pulling it along above 44 miles an hour at 4,000. But think about it, it's a lawnmower engine. It's not made to go 44 miles an hour holding wide open with Governor's bypass. But to achieve more RPM, we're probably gonna maybe modify the intake. I don't know, it probably will fit, probably will not, but we'll see. But we're definitely gonna modify this exhaust. So, bought some materials that I can make the headlights out of. Bought some square tube, 1/2 inch, something like that. I have no idea. What about the plumbing section? Found some drain cups, something like that. So the light bulb can go through it, stick out, look better. And I also bought some 3/4 inch washers. And that's for the light bulb in to stick in there. I can put it on that. We're gonna have headlights. So I've got the wiring harness here. Hopefully you can see what the heck I'm doing without me getting in the way too much. But that's gonna go right about there, and that's gonna go right about there. Obviously this is gonna get all tidied up. But you know, something about that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut here, mount my washers on right here, put the cups on right here, have the light sticking through. That's the plan. So that shouldn't really go anywhere. So now I'm gonna weld this side. All right, so we got both sides welded on. And on my very first attempt, actually, I got both of them somewhat equal on each side. So not one side's like more this way than that way. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? So these things right here, box flange, whatever it's called. Yeah, I found these in the plumbing aisle when I was in my stepdad, because my stepdad's a plumber. So I found these in the aisle. I'm like, I guarantee these ought to work as little light cups. And with the magic of editing, bam, one washer is welded on there. I cut a slot right here, so when this part goes in there, I can slide it in there like that. I'm not gonna do it now because it's super hot, but I'll slide down in there perfectly fine, so I won't be cussing and screaming in the future if I ever gotta replace these. Now, let's weld up the other side. And just like that, both washers are welded on, and it looks pretty good. It's not completely done yet. This isn't fully securely mounted in, it's just held in with the wires right there, but whatever. Let's crank it up now and see how it looks. now it is time for painting. Yeah, I know there's a couple of runs, but I'm not a painting expert. This is a rat rod. So I just got done drilling holes there, there, and there. And in this cup as well, so when the other piece is on there, I'm gonna stick this on, I'll bolt it up. Should look nice. That I use to put this thing together are from a Rector set, and yeah, they come in really handy when you're building racing lawnmowers. Check it out from a rear angle. That looks just like a rat rod. Not gonna lie, it kind of reminds me of Speed Buggy a little bit, if you know what I'm talking about. So now, I'm gonna weld these gussets on. Boom! So, got back from driving after a long trip around the neighborhood. A lot of people out there walking their dogs. They looked at me like I was some crazy person, but you know, I'm actually really happy about how this light turned out. These lights turned out a lot nicer than I thought. Gussets look pretty good on the back, so I might find some tail lights, maybe battery powered or reflector, whatever. Put those on the back, I don't know. So next video, will probably just be actually driving it around, actually filming myself driving it, because it takes a lot in order to film it, because I'm the only person doing it. So I'll probably get someone else to film. But yeah, so hope you liked this video. If you did, click on the button so YouTube would say to click. If you didn't like this video, click on thumbs down twice because 2's better than 1. And yeah, God bless y'all, and y'all should see me in the next one.